Work. Hey guys, I thought I'd make this quick YouTube video, not really quick, of my thoughts on Destiny. I was going to give a 1 week review, but I decided that I wanted to give it out early because there's some things I wanted to mention to you guys. For those of you that have not gotten the game and are still debating whether or not to get it, or the general consensus on critic reviews and everything else. I was going to do this on Monday because Tuesday is the one week anniversary, but I thought I'd do it now because I have a lot of some stuff I want to cover. Let me just say first off, it's a fun game. I wouldn't say it's awesome or incredible, not quite yet. I enjoy it. I got the midnight release, the standard definition for Xbox One, and I've enjoyed it to a certain extent quite a bit. And I've played it for several hours since I got it, not as much as some of my other friends have. But let me go and start with this. When I first loaded it up and I saw the graphics of just the visual quality of the game, I was blown away. Bungie has always, for me, always had amazing graphic engines. They've always had awesome artwork, and Destiny does not disappoint in the realm of art direction and visual quality. Not everything is perfect HD, but the skyboxes, the environments are absolutely gorgeous for the Xbox One engine. And I've always appreciated that from Bungie. They've worked so hard to make their games not only flow well, but to look well. And my first day of playing it, I started out with a campaign, or what I thought was a campaign, and then after about the first 5 levels went to multiplayer. Um, I'm gonna go with the multiplayer first. I really enjoy the multiplayer. For me, this is the best multiplayer experience I've played since Halo 3 as a game from Bungie. I liked Reach to an extent, but as everyone knows, it wasn't very well polished in the multiplayer. Had problems, unbalancing issues, and some clunkiness that just dragged it down. And for Destiny, not everyone will agree, but for me, I think the multiplayer is amazing. It's a lot of fun. It's not competitive, but it's fast-paced, intense, and it's a new FPS experience that I was hoping I would see from Bungie. They did a good job this time. There's still some things they need to work on, that I think they need to work on, like the different levels that you see in one match can range from level 10 to level like 18 or 19. I think that's too much. I think the range of levels that you see in one match on your team and the other team needs to be between 5 or 6 levels worth of, like, someone's level 11, someone's level 17, because the higher level you are, the more powerful weapons and armor you get, and it makes it unfair for people who are just beginning, who are like level 10s and you're level 20 maybe. I find it unfair, and I've played a few matches of that where I just got my butt whooped on, and then I have some matches that are closer because I happen to have teammates who are within about 5 levels of playtime to me, which I thought was better. Um, there's some guns that need to be improved on. There's a ton of guns which I like, but some of the guns I think are pointless. Some of the assault rifles and fusion rifles they have don't do anything at long range, and I think that Bungie wanted to make a great sandbox. They wanted to make a really big one, but I think that they put a little bit too much of an emphasis on the amount of weapons that they wanted to bring in. I like sniping in the game. I think it's challenging. Um, I thought it was interesting that they did not add a reticule when you're out of zoomed out, but I actually like it that way. It makes it quite challenging. The machine guns, now the heavy weapons, those are fun to use. The shotguns are pretty fun, but they take some getting used to because of the amount of recoil and screen shake that they have. Um, and the primary weapons, I think, they're also a lot of fun to use. The pistols, they take a certain amount of skill. I hope I'm not talking too fast, by the way, guys. If I am, just let me know. I'll try to slow down. I just noticed that. The pistols are fun to use. The single shot rifles are like, those are fun to use at when you use them in the right roles. The assault rifles from the Shingen C, I think is what it's called. That fires extremely fast, but has little impact. That's fun to use when you're playing against the PVE. person versus environment. Sometimes for the PvP it works, but not exactly. There are some guns that are made for multiplayer and some guns that are made for person versus environment, and there are some guns that can be used across it all, which is something that's nice. It's a nice feature. Same with other big games like that. Excuse me for having the water here. Um, the super abilities are pretty fun. I think they're a great thing to have. And same thing with the armor. The customization is, I personally think it's amazing. I thought it was going to be a little bit better, but that's just me. Lots of colors, lots of things you can check out for armors and what you like, what looks good. My one complaint to it, though, is that when you're playing multiplayer and you unlock something, you may have already bought that, or may have bought the same kind of like armor, like same area of armor set, but it has less. It's weaker than what you already have. And I'm going, okay, that needs to be fixed. You need to not have so much armor that you can repetitively get. It needs to be changed in a way. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but it makes sense to me. So multiplayer, it's fun. Haven't played every playlist, but could be improved on a little bit. But for me, it's a lot of fun. Moving on to the campaign. I have always loved the narrative strength and the breadth of Bungie's writing team through all the Halo games, even ODST and Reach. They always had funny scripts, great stories, a certain depth of emotion, and the novel has expanded on that for the Halo games so well, and they still do. I don't believe Destiny has an exact story to it. I believe that Destiny has a set of events that is supposed to be called a story, or at least a narrative progression, but I'm actually kind of blown away. Bungie actually didn't do it this time. I thought they were going to have an epic story that was going to be focused on character development, um, battling back the armies of the Vex, the Hive, the Fallen, and everything else is in there. I thought it was going to have a personal story that you could connect with, that will be fun, be memorable. I don't find it that much at all. I find it that while the enemies to battle are fun, they could have done a better job of giving the enemies personality. Similar to, say, the grunts and elites from Halo. Or basically all the enemies in Halo. They all have their own personalities. The elites talk wart. They have these funny languages they speak. The grunts are obnoxiously like high pitched, and they all have their own personalities of an enemy, of how they sound and how they act, which I thought was great. There isn't a whole lot of that in Destiny. The Vex, the robots, they make these little techno sounds. That's about it. But they are controlled by a grave mind, somewhat sort of thing that I found out today, and that actually makes sense. So they're the robots. They're not going to have a lot of personality, anyways. The Fallen, they don't have a lot of personality at all. They're fun to kill. They can be challenging when it comes to the bigger guys on the moon and whatnot. But they need personality. They need to be entertaining, and they need to be less predictable when you're playing against them, like hordes of them in the PvE part of the game. They also drop a lot of the armor and weapons you already have, and maybe that just happens. Maybe that's just a part of the game, and you have to deal with it and get rid of this stuff and gain glimmer from that. Also, the cutscenes are nice. I think they help with knowing where you are in the game and what events are taking place. Basically, just where you're going in terms of the planets. But all they provide is a very basic story of what's happening to your character and what he's trying to learn about the current events in Destiny. And I feel like because Joseph Staten, the lead writer of Bungie, left, I feel like they kind of dropped the ball a little bit. And they need to improve. They need to make this a memorable story. Perhaps that was all they wanted to do for the release of Destiny. They wanted to give us a little chunk of the story and they wanted to have us wait for the expansion packs and for bigger updates in the future of the game to really know what's happening. We know that we're guardians from the last city on Earth. The Traveler created us, and we are. Our mission is to reclaim lost planets that were taken by the Darkness, the enemy of the Traveler, and there are 4 races of them, and we have to battle them back, and we discover the secrets of the enemy and have to battle them back. But that's not enough. YouTube video. So there needs to be more to that depth of story. Not just battling back all the enemy guys and whatnot. And there just needs to be more. Bungie's always had. They've always done a good job with story, and this time they haven't quite nailed it yet. And I think that if they improve a lot, they give us characters that are recognizable, easy to connect to, and we can have fun with, then Destiny will actually advance a lot in narrative power, and it will be a lot better of a game than it started out to be. So, although I haven't beaten all the story levels, I think that eventually I'll get through it all eventually, and we'll make a judgment on how I liked it in the end. But I think that Bungie really needs to improve on their narratives and their stories for Destiny in order to make it a game that's going to last not only for multiplayer but for the story as well. I haven't played the raids yet. I haven't played the strikes yet, but I heard the strikes are pretty fun. I'm looking forward to the future of the multiplayer social aspects of the game, but there needs to be more. And yeah, we all know this game has been out for a week, and that this is just the beginning of what should be, as they say, a 10-year game franchise. I feel like it's not quite going to do itself justice. If Bungie really wants this to be the next big IP, the next big game, they need to do more. And they usually have done it. They've always done that kind of stuff. And I know they can do that. They have 25 years or so experience in the industry. They know how to make good games. They gave us the best FPS series of all time, Halo. And they gave people who've known them for longer, Marathon, Oni, and Myth and Pathways into Darkness in the 90s, all those great games that had, from what I understand, good stories. If they want to keep up that streak with Destiny, they have to do better. They have to give us more that we will crave to want to understand. They can't just give us a bunch of little cards that say go online on Bungie.net and learn about this stuff. That's kind of lazy. I mean, I like reading about that kind of stuff myself because I'll actually do it, unlike other people, but that's kind of lazy. That's all I got for you guys, and I hope you enjoy the game if you're getting it, and we'll see how long Destiny goes for. Yeah, talk to you guys later.